about all of us, even though I've never met a lot of you, as a group of people. We all have different perspectives and points of view. So for the past few years, my point of view is that life has been a series of paths. Some paths are chosen for us, and others are up to us. Some paths, they're obvious. Everyone takes the easy road. But others, we pave our own ways. Well, on a cool October day at Calkins Road Middle School in 2016, I was faced with a crossroad. I was standing with my lunch at a booth at lunch that was promoting Best Buddies. There were sign-up sheets, there were stickers, pins, everything. Some people walked on by, made a single glance, and they've already made up their mind. Other people did join. It was more of a split issue, 50-50. But there I stood, lunch in hand, wondering if this was one of the important crossroads, if this was a path that maybe I should take. I wasn't planning on joining any new clubs, necessarily making any new friends, but I thought, hey, why not, try new things. So I had an obligation to come to the first meeting, which was the next Wednesday. So the next Wednesday I found out what Best Buddies really was. The next Wednesday, I made so many new friends, and the next Wednesday, my life took a completely new path. If I'm being honest, I was scared. I was a shy person. I had no idea how to make a change, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was the guy that sat in the corner of our first meeting in the choir room, hoping not to be called on. I didn't really know what my intentions were or what my goal was, but I guarantee you, little by little, I was becoming more educated and a more inclusive person, standing up to adversity more and more. I met amazing people, participated in events that changed my point of view. Everything seemed to be happening in my favor, and everything seemed fine. I remember when I was elected president of the chapter, Lindsay told me to start talking to other officers about making posters for our events. I didn't remember exactly how the conversation went, but I remember she ended it with, "Can I count on you?" It was the first time in my entire life when someone has really just put something in my hands and let me pave the way, and I felt so trusted and appreciated. So everything felt amazing. I thought that I was going to be okay, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I've truly found my purpose. Unfortunately, there were a group of students that didn't like that I was being an advocate. They didn't support the change I was making, and they didn't want to change how they were using their language or acting around other people. They didn't want to have tolerance or have any empathy. Because of that, I became a target, and becoming a target soon went from harassment to bullying, and it was to the point where I was actually scared to come to school. This path that I had chosen was the path barely taken. Most people weren't advocates, and because I was different from the standard, therefore I've made some sort of mistake. Eventually, I really couldn't handle it. I fell into a spiral of self-deprecation and stress. It was the most emotionally compelling feeling in the world because everyone my entire life has told me, if I just do the right thing, stick by my good morals, that everything is going to turn out in my favor. But if that was true, why was I hearing so much of nobody likes you, just give up, you're not actually doing anything, you're just useless? Why was I hearing that? I kept pushing myself to this impossible goal, and I felt everything I love slipping away from me. My friends, my family, even my sense of self. And I had all the questions and none of the answers. I would think, was this my fault? Was it something I did? Or something I said? What didn't really help were the looks I got in the halls and the horrible things I heard people say. Some days, I'm not going to lie, it was really, really rough. I felt so excluded, and I didn't know what to do because it was the first time in my life that I felt like this. And despite the entire world falling from my hands, one thing remained: Best Buddies. The amazing people I met in this club, they knew that if I ever fall, they just threw in a pillow before I did, and they would come with bandages afterwards. This entire situation has put the people in my life through a test, and as far as I'm concerned, Best Buddies passed with flying colors, and I'm so happy about that. I had finally found my people. There I was. How incredible it felt, not only to have a place where I belong, but a place where I'm welcome. We've all heard the story about how Best Buddies help people with IDD, but I don't have IDD. and yet the organization built on friendships for people with disabilities helped me out. See, that's when I realized what I had gotten wrong. Best Buddies isn't just a place for people with disabilities, it's a place for all people, everybody, to feel included, to feel like they are welcome, to feel loved. The people at Best Buddies didn't just get me through, they built me up. They took whatever was left of myself, whatever little scraps of pride I have left from what people have said to me, and they let me be a greater person. Because of the love and the encouragement and the kindness I got from this club, I can be a better person, and I'm able to every day walk the halls of my school and see the better in everybody else, just like the people here did for me. So a few weeks ago, I was at the Best Buddies Friendship Ball, as many of you were, and I was kind of anxious. You know, I get anxious at parties, even after this whole bullying incident. But then I realized that every single person in that room was a person of inclusion. I could look at anybody, point to them, and be able to know that they either are or could be my friend. I knew that I was not going to be judged or teased or harassed or ridiculed. So I danced and I spun and I twirled, and I had so much fun with my greatest friends because I knew that I had finally found a place where I'm truly welcome. So when I got home, a poem was sitting on my drawer that I forgot to put away. It was a homework to write a piece about it. But in it stated, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and it has made all the difference. See, I realized immediately how I could relate to this poem. You know, it wasn't easy sticking by my morals. It wasn't easy standing up for what was right after everyone said all those horrible things to me. It might have just been easier to give up. But I didn't.